We can start now.
Are we all set? Okay. I'll call the meeting to order. It is 7:02. 7:02? I think my watch is all right. So do we have any alternates that have to be seated? No, no alternates. Okay. Any additions or changes in order of the agenda?
Yes, I have two applications that I would like to add to the agenda.
Would you like the numbers for those?
I believe I have them. First is IWWC 2223-35, application by Michael Dobish to modify a previously approved permit. And then the second one is application IWWC 2223-37. Josh, I had to change the number on that one.
Was 36 and something else that came in?
Yes, I had, and we'll get to it, given an administrative approval that I will report on tonight. But it's IWWC 2223-36, application of Nicholas Rana for modification to a previously approved permit at 450 Route 66.
Okay, and where do we fit all that in?
Both of those, I think we can fit in under new business.
New business, okay. So we'll make that item 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4?
Just 6.2 and 6.3.
All right. 35 is 6.2?
Yes. And then
36 is 6.3?
Yes.
Or 37?
37.
Oh, 6.3. Okay.
Yeah, you said 36 was an admin approval, right?
Yes. Yeah, I confused things a little bit. I apologize.
Okay, very good. Okay, any communication or correspondence?
No, not tonight.
Nothing at all. Okay. Audience of citizens, we don't have any. So let's start by under new business, IWWC 2223-34, the application of the Town of Columbia Department of Public Works to replace a 36-inch corrugated metal culvert with a new 36-inch HDPE at Hennequin Road near Route 66 within road right-of-way. You want to fill us in on that a little bit?
Yes. So I actually, unfortunately, received this March 20th, and it was completely lost in my email. So my apologies for that. It's an application by the town to replace the existing culvert, as you read, with a new HDPE of the same size at Hennequin Road, right near Route 66, essentially between 256 Route 66 and 268 Route 66. So just coming right off of that road. I believe Beth Lunt, the Director of Public Works, is here by phone. Is that right, Beth? Maybe not. So
is he there?
I don't think she's here. She was planning on joining by phone, but
oh, okay.
I see another phone number. It might not be her. So maybe it would be better to move on and come back to this. She's planning on joining tonight. I think that it would be beneficial to do a site walk at the location, just so everyone can see the area in person. But essentially the plan is to just replace the culvert in kind, just with the new material, and the work should be done fairly quickly. Very similar project to what was done at Erdoney, but I think Beth can give some more information on that if she's able to join us tonight.
Okay, very good. Can we accept the application?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the application? IWWC 2223-34.
I make a motion to accept the application.
Okay, do we have a second? Ron, okay, very good. All in favor, raise your hand. So moved. Okay. So second one is 2223-35. This is Mike Dobush.
Yes. So I believe this was sent out to the commission on Friday when we received the application with amendments to the previous drawing. As we discussed at the last meeting when the permit was issued at that location on the right of way, there were some changes that were being proposed by LMAC. Mr. Dobish and representatives of LMAC and myself all met at the site to discuss those changes as they were proposed, including the location of a dry well. So he has since made some modifications based on their recommendations and comfort, and would like to proceed with the application with those changes in mind. There is a revised drawing that was sent to you with the new application. It includes the dry well that we discussed, and the pipe will now outlet by the stairs rather than going through the rest of the pier and outletting under the dock.
Okay, very good. So we have to have a motion on accepting the new application then?
Yes, so we can accept this, and then because it is a modification, it's up to the commission. If you have further questions or would like to see it in person, that's always available to you as an option, but you also are able to vote on it tonight because it's not a new application.
Okay, good. So let's accept the changed application first. Do I hear a motion to accept the changed application?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ron. All in favor, raise your hand. So moved. Okay.
Yeah, now that Dave got his mic fixed, he can make and second motions again.
That's great. I'm actually using my phone. My computer's still not working.
Hey, this works. We
can hear you.
We can hear you.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Dave is here. You got it. Okay. Very good. Okay, so Mike, do you have anything to say?
No, I'm good.
Good. Okay.
Finally.
Does anybody have any questions?
So this is Ian. I was just looking at the application. What was the rationale on putting a 90-degree in?
It was recommended by Josh Santos to slow the water down even more. You know, it's coming into that box higher. It's going to be a sediment pit, and he recommended having it at 90-degree so that once the catch basin the box is full, it'll still have to go out at an angle rather than just flowing straight through.
And I think part of the rationale as well, and Mike, you can correct me if this got brought up or not, was that there were concerns of LMAC and possibly Mr. Santos specifically that the pipe outletting directly into the lake would cause a significant amount of turbulence and would be more impactful to water quality rather than having the pipe outlet over the stairs.
Okay, I acknowledge everybody's comments. I think putting a 90-degree in on a pipe that receives on a slope that's that steep is going to cause that water to back up and be the exact same problem that we're dealing with today. I don't mean to put you guys through a headache on that, but like that's not good flow design.
Mm.
I don't know what to say.
I'm just raising it as a concern. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're going to end up with undermining of those permeable pavers. You're going to end up with a whole slew of problems by putting a 90-degree bend in. I don't know what the gentleman's background is on that, but that's not good flow design for sure.
You know, I had one plan with a 45, so
Right.
it's coming out of the box at a 45. I mean, I'm at wit's end.
No, I completely agree.
I've done 7 drawings of different solutions, and
I understand you, and I voiced this concern at the last meeting
yes.
as well. But I just wanted to put it out there.
You know,
Well, if there is a problem, it can probably be changed, couldn't it? Say you put 2 90s in and a connected to a single exhaust.
well, I would say probably if it becomes a problem, you know, we'd eliminate that sediment box and just put a 90 there rather than having that second sediment box. You know, would be the solution. I mean,
Hello.
yeah.
Hello, this is Tip Garrett.
Hi, Tip.
Yeah, is that Ian that's making a comment about the 90-degree bend?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's quite right. From a hydraulic standpoint, that way on high flows, that would slow down the flow quite a bit, and it might cause a backup. I agree.
Okay.
That's my comment.
All right.
I mean, I guess we'll have to address that if it happens. You know, I wasn't over there the other day, you know, with all the rain that we had, to see exactly what the flow was the other day. But, you know, this is, you know, I need to move forward in a direction. You know, I had it going straight into the lake that, you know, nobody was happy with that.
Well, that was the best route.
You know,
Hydraulically, that was the best route.
right. You know.
No, and I fully agree with Ian on this from a hydraulic standpoint. Maybe we should have a hydraulic engineer just take a little look at it.
We're not going to put this thing off anymore. Between these 2 boards, you've put me through the ringer, to be honest with you, with drawing.
Okay,
change.
Mike, it's not your fault at all. I'm not blaming you at all, because you'll be told to do something else. Yeah. Well, we can try it, and as you pointed out, you can observe it and see what does happen during high flows. And then maybe it might be somebody else's responsibility to straighten it out.
Well, to be my responsibility, there is nobody else. You find that
no, but you were directed by the town to do this. And if it's not working, then maybe the town is the one who should straighten it out, cost-wise.
The option, I guess, would be to add another pipe coming out of the box. You know, would be the next solution. You know, to get more flow out of the box.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I'm not bringing this up to slow you down. I'm just pointing out that, you know, this is kind of what happens when things are designed by committee.
You know, I mean, you know, I was happy with it going out the other way. You know,
I agree. Yeah.
No, I agree too. Yep.
So.
Okay, well, why don't we just see what happens, and if we have to make a change later on, I think we could do it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not going to probably be at the point where I'm going to be covering up the pipe with pavers that's probably another month down the road. So we'll see how it handles. You know, if I have to dig it up and add a second 12-inch pipe or something coming out of that box, you know, then that's, I guess, the route I'll take.
And Mike, just since Mary's not here, can you update us what did happen with LMAC, because I know there was some discussion as to their jurisdiction and their oversight. So is this...
They have no jurisdiction.
So
Well,
again,
where the pipe is now falls solely under wetlands.
okay, so I will say you do have a permit currently, which has been approved by the Wetlands Commission, which is the previous permit. So this is an application to modify. Your existing permit isn't erased by submitting this application, nor do I think it's erased by even really approving this application. It's a matter of having approval from the Wetlands Commission and determining the most appropriate route. I think, you know, what you did submit previously was technically approved. So from a regulatory standpoint, I think you would still have the option to do that. And this allows you the option to do this. The town would just need to be made aware as to which of the two you're doing. You know, we can continue to go back and forth. I don't want to drag this out or slow you down, certainly, but I just wanted to point out that permit was approved by the commission, and these are changes made in response to commentary by LMAC. So you're not necessarily locked in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we can continue to discuss it as well. It's I don't want to drag you through it either. I know it's you've been working on this design for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a summary ruling on this then, Isabel?
Yes, I do have a summary ruling for this design as well. Let's see.
Would you read it, please?
Yes. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. So can everyone see my screen here, my Word document?
Yes.
So this is for application IWWC 2223-35, application of Michael Dobish for modifications to an existing permit to install a 40-foot pipe and permeable pavers, soil, and grass at his right-of-way at 17 Sleepy Hollow Road. The duration of the permit is for 2 years. And I'll skip over the first 6 that are all standard language. I did maintain the same conditions between this summary ruling and the previous one, just with respect to changes in the date of the drawing, design, and application information. So maintenance practices necessary to assure proper functioning of erosion and sediment control measures, routine monitoring and removal of sediment and repairs if necessary, controls to be monitored prior to forecasted rain events and after rain events of 3/4 of an inch or greater. Work in the lake, which I don't believe there is any except maybe that bottom step, to be completed during lake drawdown between October 15th and March 15th in an even numbered year, or November 15th and March 15th in an odd numbered year. Silt fence or hay bales shall be placed above and below the site to be disturbed to minimize stormwater runoff to the area. No heavy machinery in the lake bed. No material stored on the lake bed. A dry well shall be installed before the corrugated pipe to slow water flow from the soil and minimize remaining sediment. Site to be inspected biennially during drawdown, and a letter certifying that the dry well, pipe, and permeable pavers have been maintained and are functioning shall be sent to Columbia Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission after each inspection. A copy of these records to be recorded on the we can remove that condition depending on the comfort or preferences of the commission. Because that was a condition of the previous approval, which is redundant. applicant Michael Douglas is assigned responsibility for implementing the sediment and erosion control plan, installation and maintenance of control measures, informing all parties engaged on the construction site of requirements and objectives of the plan, and notifying the commission office of any transfer of this responsibility and conveying a copy of erosion.
Okay, okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the summary motion to accept it? Someone want to make that motion to accept the summary ruling?
I move that we accept the summary ruling.
Okay, thank you, Ron. And second, have a second on that.
I'll second it.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay.
I think that was that Tip who seconded?
Dave.
Dave.
Oh, maybe they both did. I thought I saw Tip's thing come up.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay.
So Mike, I'll be in touch and we'll work out what's going to be the most effective at that site. And again, not to delay you by any means. I think you're done with approvals because you've got everything on paper unless there's a significant design change for one reason or another, but we'll work on making sure that we have the same final design and we're on the same page before you have to put anything on the land record.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Okay. And
have a great night.
Isabel, she'll help you out. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So the next one would be item 6.3, 2223-37. You want to bring us up to date on that, Isabel?
Yes. So I believe this was just sent to the commission today. It was submitted or intended to be submitted on Friday. Unfortunately, due to an error that we're having with the town's emails, the email was not received by the applicant. So I made an exception to request to add this on the agenda just to introduce it because that's an error really on the town's part that I think everyone's been familiar with for the last couple months. We've been having this problem. And again, this is another modification of a previously approved permit. So this is something that can be voted on tonight, but does not need to be voted on tonight. Certainly if a site walk is something that's necessary, we can schedule that as well. I think most of you will remember, most of you were at the site walk for the Christie subdivision. So 450 Route 66 was lot 1 of the Christie subdivision, which included a
Okay, just
driveway
here. He's gonna be first one up, right? First one up.
A driveway through about 230 feet of wetlands. So it's fairly extensive crossing. And the remainder of the site, the wetlands are protected through a conservation easement. The site has officially been cleared. The area to be cleared was flagged by Dutch land surveyors, and the driveway area has now been cleared. And having looked at the site, I met with Nicholas Rana, and we discussed potentially putting the utility lines to the side of the driveway rather than through the middle of the driveway. Essentially, there's room to do that without any additional clearing. And so the thought process, as we kind of discussed it, was that if there is a problem down the line with a utility for whatever reason, it makes it a little bit more accessible just to get to it rather than going through the driveway. Should something happen, should that be necessary. The current approved plan has the utilities going down the center line of the driveway, which is fairly common, but this is just something that they would like to potentially do to make things a little easier, since it's now not including any additional clearing or really disturbance to that wetlands crossing area. Let me see. I believe Nicholas is here tonight by phone.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. And I think that that's the most pertinent information. If you have anything to add, feel free.
Nope, that sounds all good to me. It just, the clearing is about 50 feet wide and the driveway is only 12. And through experience, it's just much better to have it just on the outskirts of the driveway than right down the center. And that was our thought process.
Hey, anybody have any questions on anything?
No.
Okay. Do we have a summary ruling on this that we could act on tonight, Isabel?
I do have a summary ruling prepared.
Okay. Why don't you read it? And we could act on it now.
Just trying to share my screen. Okay. So this is for IWWC 2223-37, the application of Nicholas Rana for modifications to an existing permit at 450 Route 66. I have the typo. Let's see, the initial permit was to install a driveway through 250 feet of wetlands. The modification includes a trench along the driveway in the area that has been cleared for utilities. I kept, again, the standard conditions the same and the conditions essentially the same between the previous application and this modification, just for consistency. The wetlands agent is to be notified of a pre-construction meeting with contractor and property owner prior to the start of work, with the intention to discuss construction sequence, erosion and sediment control measures, and stabilization of the site. The finalized schedule for construction activities, including start and completion dates, sequence of construction, stabilization of the site, and final plan to be approved by the wetlands agent. No material shall be stockpiled within the wetlands or the upland review area. Construction apron shall be installed before any work begins. Use of fabric under the stone at the construction entrance is required, and the road is to be kept free of soil and debris. Erosion and sediment control measures will be installed prior to the construction to include silt fence surrounding protected wetlands and or as further required by the commission or its agent and as site conditions dictate. Maintenance practices necessary to assure proper functioning of erosion and sediment controls, routine monitoring and removal of sediment and repairs if necessary. Controls to be monitored prior to forecasted rain events and after forecasted rain events of 3/4 of an inch or greater. Additional control measures will be installed during the construction period if necessary or required, and Nicholas Rana is assigned the responsibility for implementing the sediment and erosion control plan, including installation and maintenance of control measures, informing all parties engaged on the construction site of requirements and objectives of the plan, notifying the commission office of any transfer of responsibility, and conveying a copy of the erosion and sediment control plan if the title to the land is transferred.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to accept the summary ruling that Isabel just read? Someone want to make the motion?
Make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Dave. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, so moved. Thank you very much. Okay, now, I guess we have one other under new business here, 2223-36. You want to fill us in on that, Isabel?
So that was actually just confusion with the permitting numbers. That is an administrative approval that I've issued, and I'll discuss that in the administrative report.
Okay.
Yeah, did you want to go back to item 6.2 one at all? I don't think we have Beth, but do we have to decide whether we want to have a sidewalk on that?
Yeah, we could, how about, let's see, I'm gonna be tied up for, I'm not sure, this next week, pretty busy and the following too.
And
I don't,
I've talked to Beth. I know she's available on Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Towards the end of the day, if that would be possible. Then we could potentially go to the site if we have a quorum and vote on it at the site if necessary, or if it feels appropriate and everyone's satisfied with the application.
Okay, why don't we do it on Thursday the 6th? Oh wait, that's just this week. 13th.
the 13th is a Saturday.
Oh, I'm in April. I'm sorry.
I was say it's the 4th is this
No.
week or the 11th.
All right.
John's kind of stuck in the past.
How about the 11th at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? What's best?
I know Beth said she'd be available at 6. I think she would be available at 5 as well, depending on everyone else's schedules.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we try it at 6 then?
But
Or would everybody prefer 5? 5, okay.
5 for me.
Good. Okay, so let's do it at 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Did Beth have a preference for the 18th? I know Isabel had brought that date up to me, or can she just do any Thursday?
I think she can do any Thursday.
Okay.
Tentatively
Yeah.
scheduled for the 11th. I will confirm that date with her, and then if that doesn't work, I can let everyone know and potentially.
Yeah, I could do the 11th later in the day. Yeah.
So it'll be the 11th at 5 p.m. Very good. Okay.
It's the time of year when we can have sidewalks in the evening again, and it'll still be light outside.
Right.
I know, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get on with the business here. Old business, IWWC 2223-32, your jurisdictional ruling, the application of Austin Harmon for the timber harvest at Route 87 East, Assessors Map 22, Lot 2. Want to give us a little bit of background again on that? You've been contacting them at all?
Yes, and we do have Austin here tonight as well to speak on
very
behalf of
good.
the application. This is, for those of you who maybe don't remember, the site is right up to the 10 Mile River. So it's on the border of Colombia and Lebanon. Initially, there was a plan to cross the 10 Mile River in one location, which, and Austin can correct me on this in a minute, required a new bridge over the 10 Mile River, which was a concern. Lebanon's Wetland Commission did deny that application due to the crossing and concerns over the crossing. So the application has been modified, and I believe everyone was sent a new location. So the new location is an existing bridge, which is again over the 10 Mile River, and will be overlaid with timber mats to displace the weight of the harvester when it's loaded and unloaded, crossing the bridge. And I think that is everything as far as changes have been made to the application. Austin, if you have anything else to add.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I apologize for not being able to attend last month's meeting. Lebanon held me in their meeting for quite a while. So the original application intention was to use a temporary log bridge where we would get larger diameter and longer length logs, we would chain or wire them together, place them over the 10-mile river and drive over the logs rather than through the river itself. The logs and such would have been held out of the water on each side of the bank. The town of Lebanon had concerns with this. It is something that we have done in the past on other jobs, but anyways, they had concerns and denied the application for that. So instead, we shifted the new application to go over an existing culvert bridge. It is a very large culvert bridge. I believe it has 5 culverts in the bottom, and it's been there for a very long time. Farmers have used it historically to cross over the 10-mile river to get equipment back and forth over to the hay fields and other agricultural areas in the back. The landowner we are working with has a deeded in right-of-way over this culvert bridge crossing. And we also have a temporary right-of-way agreement with the abutting landowner in Lebanon. 165 Cook Hill Road is their address, to use their access road, which is part of the deeded in right-of-way to the landowner, as well as stack the yarded materials, firewood, saw logs, etc., on their property for it to be trucked off. So the new application involves us going over this bridge, but first we're going to put a load of stone down over the bridge to help surface it better and grade it off evenly before we put the temporary timber bridge mats down. The temporary timber bridge mats are approximately 12 feet long by 4 feet wide and 10 or so inches high. They're approximately just a bunch of 10 by 10s bolted in together in piece and place, and that's what we normally use for a temporary wetlands or stream crossing in the forest itself. We are going to lay these down perpendicularly over the trail on top of the bridge, on top of the stone, to help disperse the machine's weight. To quickly correct Isabel, we are going to be moving forward with this operation with just a forwarder rather than a forwarder and harvester operation. So there will just be one machine going back and forth over the bridge. To go back and forth over from the yard on 165 Cook Hill Road, Lebanon, across a 10-mile river onto the deeded in right-of-way and property of the abutter, and then into property of the landowner we are working with for a management harvest on their property on Route 87 Route East.
Okay. Any questions on anything? Okay. If not, do we have a summary ruling for this item?
Yes. I have a jurisdictional ruling prepared.
Yes.
Which I will share my screen. And if anyone would like me to read the language from the regulations, I have that as well for section 4.1A, which is referenced. I don't have it to share on the screen, but I can read it out loud. As it stands, the jurisdictional ruling is motion that the proposed activity is qualified under section 4.1A of the Commission's regulations, forestry, which falls under the definition of farming in section 1-1Q, is a use as of right and is not a regulated activity requiring a wetlands permit. Applicant Austin Harmon at Route 87 East, Assessor's Map 22, Lot 2 in the RA zone.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
And you already covered this, but I just didn't hear it. Did Lebanon already approve the situation that we're being asked to approve?
Not yet. Lebanon's meeting, they have a town meeting tonight, so their next meeting will be next Monday.
Okay.
And because this is a jurisdictional ruling, essentially forestry, which is considered farming, is considered a use as of right, so long as it does not include the filling or reclamation of wetlands or watercourses with continual flow. And I can read that paragraph as well if anyone would like me to.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion to approve this jurisdictional ruling that Isabel just read?
I make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Second on that?
I'll second.
Okay,
Ron?
all in favor, raise your hand. So moved. Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. Isabel, I will be in touch to let you know how the meeting goes next Monday with the town of Lebanon and such.
Okay.
Such from there. In the event that they do deny this again, our next step moving forward is we would look into contacting abutters that own property abutting the land of the landowner we are working with, rather than using the 165 Cook Hill Road entrance and the 10-mile river crossing. If they deny this application next week, our plan is to contact some landowners abutting their property and get a temporary right-of-way agreement with them, which would not require any sort of river crossing. But I will keep everyone up to date as events unfold.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Yep, you too. Okay, next item is the approval of the meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2023. Everybody read it?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make that motion.
Okay, second,
Second it.
thank you, Ron. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. So moved. Okay, audience of citizens, we have no one. Any open discussion, commission open discussion? Anybody want to mention anything? I have a question. What happened to the wedding venue? Anybody bring us up to date on that? Isabel?
The
you know
wed-
what's going on?
It was approved, and my understanding is that someone from the public has appealed that decision.
Oh, okay.
So,
So the planning and zoning approved it, and it's being, okay.
So I think my understanding is that it will go back through PZC again.
now,
But the
if it's
wetlands
an
approval-
if it's an appeal, it actually goes to the Superior Court, I believe.
Oh, was it? It wasn't appealed. Okay.
Yeah, the appeal we had when a member of the public appealed the administrative approval, it was an appeal of an admin approval, so
that's
it went
right. Thank
to the
you.
commission.
Yes.
But this has
thank
already
you.
been to the commission, so one step up from that is the court, I guess.
Okay. So it'll be going through Superior Court. Wow.
It's my understanding.
Wow, okay,
Oh, I'm sure you're correct. Thank you for the update.
yes, very good. Okay, any administrative reports, Isabel?
Yes, I have two. One for Alan Aaliyah at 172 Route 87 to remove an existing brick walkway and replace with slate on stone dust. He'll be using hay bales as sediment and erosion control measures. It's relatively close to the lake, but it should be fairly minimal in terms of the work that's involved for the removal of the walkway. And it will be maintaining the same amount of pervious and impervious area. So it's not a significant change to the character of the existing lot. And then I have an additional administrative approval given to Laura and Robert Nye of 140 Route 66, which didn't make it onto the agenda. I believe it has been sent to the Chronicle. I'm not sure yet. But the application was to install a pipe along the western boundary of the property, just to mitigate some groundwater issues. Currently, the basement has been flooding historically. They're putting a driveway in place on the other side of the home, which has been approved by DOT for safety concerns. And so this should help water move away from the house, away from the basement that it's currently impacting, and towards the back of the site.
Okay, very good. Okay. I guess that takes care of the all the applications and all of the business. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Ian. And a second, Dave. Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody. See you soon. Okay, bye-bye now.